Okay, sixth graders, we're going to do a quick review of the Gemara we've been learning. It's been a while. I know we've been working on our mitzvah projects for a long time. So I figured that I'd do a quick review on the Gemara that we did right before the mitzvah project started. And you'll listen to me explain it, and you can go through it on your own. And it should sound familiar to you. It wasn't the most difficult sugya, which is good because it was a long time ago that we did it. And I'm asking you to complete something afterwards, and I'll tell you about that when we get through the video. Okay, so what I am here doing now is I'm on Merkava, and I'm going to go to these three dots here up here in the corner. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go down to Talmud here up top. See that where my thing is? Talmud. I'm going to look for Baba Metzia, and I'm going to scroll down to 21b is where we're up to. And we'll see this thing pop up in blue. If you don't have the color, it's because of this marker in the corner. Just click that marker and it should come up. And if it only is coming up as singles, it's because you're on single. If you click all. And we're going to skip all that blue because we actually, I'll do a quick synopsis of the blue, and then we'll read inside from this red line here from Tashma. So we had a question. The Gemara asked, is finding an object that was lost by the owner, obviously, you found it and you're not sure if the owner even knows that they lost it yet, because we remember that the main thing we need to know is that the owner gave up hope in order to keep an object. If an owner is still looking for it, we are going to say you cannot keep it unless it's a circumstance where we'll say it doesn't really matter if you're looking for it. Most people would have given up hope. Like if you fell into the ocean. If it fell into the ocean, even if you're like, I really want to find it, I really will do anything for it. If a person were to be scuba diving and happens to find it, they do not have to return it to you. They don't have to assume that you're looking for it, because most people give up hope right away. So the question is, if you don't know in a regular circumstance, a regular case, a regular day, can you keep it, or do you have to wait to know for sure that the owner gave up? So Abaye had said that if you find it early, before the owner realizes, you cannot keep it. Lo have yeyush. Rava says, no, it is yeyush, and you could keep it. And this has to do with an item with a siman. We're going to skip to the line here. They argue when there's no siman. Sorry, the davar yishesh bo siman is they don't argue. But without a siman, this is the whole machloket. If it has a siman, then you can never keep it. But if it doesn't have a siman, Rava says it is yeyush. You could keep it because when they find out that they lost it, they'll give up hope because there's no way of claiming it. They don't have a siman, miyayesh, etc. Abaye says no, it's not yeyush because they don't know it fell from them, and right now they don't know. So you can't keep it because they didn't give up hope yet. Rava says they will give up hope in the future. So that's machloket. So now we want to prove somebody right. So let's go with the idea that Rav is right, because Rav is usually right. So we have Tashma, Peirot Mifuzarin, scattered fruit, Haluyad Dinafalmine. Isn't it that he didn't know they lost it? I mean, we had in the Mishnah, Peirot Mifuzarin, the next few are quotes from our Mishnah on 21a. Isn't it that they didn't know that they found it, that they lost it? Obviously, the Mishnah didn't say that they knew. The Mishnah just said if you find scattered fruit, so we can assume that the person doesn't know, or they do know. It doesn't really matter. In either case, the person can keep it, said the Mishnah, Rabbi Meir in the Mishnah. So Ha'amar Rav Ukva Bar Chama, no, you can't use the Mishnah as proof. Ha'hacha b'machnash deveidari askinan. Remember, we're dealing with wheat kernels, not apples, not pears. Wheat kernels on the threshing floor, that the farmer left there on purpose. The farmer left it there on purpose, knowing that they're going to be hefker, that they're going to be ownerless. And if you found them, if you came and you were the next person in the line to go thresh, to go take care of your wheat, to make sure that it's processed properly, and you found the wheat kernels, you can keep them. So Gemara says, fine, let's try the next item. Tashma ma'ot mifuzaro. The Mishnah had said if you found scattered coins, hari elu shelo, you can keep them. The Mishnah also didn't specify if the person knew or not. So amai, why could you keep them? Haloya denafal mine. But isn't it a case where they don't know they fell from them? Because the Mishnah didn't say. The Mishnah didn't say if they knew. So we can assume either they knew it or they didn't know. Both cases are possible. So yet you could still keep it. Shows us that Rav is right, because it doesn't matter as long as they will give up hope eventually. That's what we think. So the Gemara says, no, Rav is not necessarily right. Hasam nami k'divrei Rabbi Yitzchak, because Rabbi Yitzchak says, Adam asu mishamish b'kisa l'kol sha'a v'sha'a. A person will always check his pocket for money. And therefore, once you lose your wallet and the coins in the pouch, you'll right away know within a couple of minutes. So if you found it, you can assume the owner already knows, and therefore it's aved midat. Next, Tashma, igule devela b'kikar shel nachtom, around cake of pressed figs and the baker's bread. Hare elishalo, the Mishnah said once again. Why is that? The Mishnah never said if they knew or not. So it must be that they didn't know it fell from them. Or they did. It doesn't really matter. But both cases have to be true because the Mishnah didn't say one or the other. So we have to assume that both are possible. And therefore Rav is right, because if he doesn't know, and the Mishnah is saying you could keep them, that clearly Rav is agreeing with the Mishnah and Abai is arguing with the Mishnah, which we know Abai is not allowed. So Abai must be wrong. So Gemara defends Abai. He says, no, wait. Hasam nami. Here also, it's a case of Aveda midat. Why? Agav diyakire miyada diyada behu. Since they're very heavy, he'll realize right when they fall out of his bag, right when they fall out of his pocket, wherever he's carrying these, he'll realize that the weight significantly decreased, that it got a lot lighter, like you're carrying textbooks and one of them falls out. You'll know right away. And therefore, you can assume if you find these that the owner already gave up hope and knows already about it. Next up, Tashma Lishono Shel Argaman. What about tongues of purple wool? The Mishnah also said you can keep them. Isn't it a case where he doesn't know because the Mishnah didn't say one way or the other? So isn't it a case we have to assume that the person didn't know and therefore Rav is right? And the Gemara responds, no, Hasam nami agav dechashive mishmoshe mishmash behu k'de Rabbi Yitzchak. No, since they're so valuable, these tongues of purple wool. Remember, these were processed, very very expensive wools, ready to go basically to sale. And almost finished with their processing, so they were expensive. And a person would make sure that he's constantly counting the purple wool to make sure that they have all of them. And they will know, just like Rabbi Yitzchak said with the wallet, that's what this means. Rabbi Yitzchak said with the wallet, as explained before, that a person constantly checks their wallet and will figure it out immediately. Then we had a little bit of a longer one, and then the leket one, which was the one we did a couple days ago. So Tashma, Hamotzi mo bate kinesio bate midrasho. This one you did on your own, guys. What if a person found money in a shul or a school or any place where there's a lot of people? A lot of places where there's a lot of people. Right now we're in a time where we're not supposed to be at social gatherings. But if you were at a place where there's a lot of people, Hari El Shalo, you can keep it. This is a quote from a different Mishnah, somewhere else in the Gemara. So Gemara had said you can keep them. Because the Baalim will give up hope. They will give up hope. If you lose something in New York City, in Times Square, you lose a watch, you lose a wallet, you're going to cry and you're going to give up hope. But, isn't it possible that the person doesn't know yet? If you found in Times Square, you pick up a wallet, isn't it possible that the owner doesn't know they lost it yet? So how could they say, Hari Elu Shalo? Right here, I'm highlighting. How could they say Hari Elu Shalo? If it's Lo Yada Nafal Mineh, it must be Rava's correct. That even though you don't know that you lost it, if it's in a public place, you can keep it. And that's a raya, that's a proof that Rav is correct. So the Gemara defends Abai once again and says, no, remember what we said about coins and money? Rabbi Yitzchak Amar Adam Asulim Shamesh Bekisa B'chol Shah V'Shah. A person constantly checks his money, his wallet. So as soon as that person loses it in Times Square, they're going to realize and they're going to give up hope because there's no siman on money. And therefore, if you find a wallet in Times Square, you can assume the owner already knows, and you can assume that it's ownerless. It's hefker already. And therefore, we're not sure who's right still, Abai or Rava. Last one, and then I'll ask you to fill out something for me. I'll tell you where it is. Tashma. Here's a last proof that we did the other day. So, me'ei matai kol adam mutarim beleket. Usually leket, as it says here on the bottom. I'll highlight it. It says here on the bottom of the screen in the translation that leket is a bundle of wheat that the farmer dropped that has to be left there for the poor people. You can't go back and get it if you dropped it on your way to storage. But at some point, anyone is allowed to take them, not just poor people. The farmer, a rich person, poor person, anyone's allowed to take it. But there's a point where it's only for poor people. So the Gemara is asking, when is it that time period that anyone can come to take it? When does that start? How long do we have to wait? So, Mishielchu ba hanemoshot. Everyone agrees that you have to wait until these nemoshot, these feelers, go through the fields. So there's a machloket, there's an argument as to what nemoshot are. What are feelers, and what do they call them feelers? So we said, my nemoshot, what are nemoshot? So Rabbi Yochanan said, Sabe da Azli Atigra. It's a elderly person with a stick. So it makes sense. It takes them longer, so you have to give them more time. So when you see them leave the field, it's understandable that they're the last, because they're the slowest. So you have to wait till the elderly leave, and then you can go in. If you're a regular person, if a person from Scarsdale, hopefully you don't need leket. So you have to wait. If you want the leket, you have to wait until you see the elderly people leave the field, and if you happen to want it, you can go get it. Rish Lakish says, no, the lukute batar lukute. What are nemosha? What are feelers? They're the second group of gatherers. You'll see one wave running when when the harvest season begins. You'll see one group run, and then if you wait a little bit, you'll see another group running. That's the second group. That's the nemosha. It's a second group of people, the late risers, the people who take a little longer, as we can all understand. It takes them a little bit longer to get out. So those people, you have to wait for the second group to take it. So Gemara says, why is that? Why do you have to wait? Okay, it makes sense that after this second group, whoever it is, the old people according to Rabbi Yochanan, or the second group of poor people according to Rish Lakish, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's understandable that if you see them, then you know that people around the city already have given up hope on that leket, on that wheat that's sitting there in the field. It's laying down in the field waiting for somebody to take it. It's understandable. But isn't it possible that there's a poor person from a neighboring city that's still trying to run to get to the field before it's too late? So even though the nemoshot are leaving the field, the old people are walking out of the field with the canes. You see them leaving. And you're now about to go in and get that leket. Isn't it possible still that there's a poor person in the world who wants to come? Because it's not just for the poor people in that town, like it's for any poor person. So a neighboring city poor person is going to want to come. How do you know? You don't know. Perhaps they want to come and they didn't give up hope yet. And so how come you're permitted to take it? How come you're permitted to take it? The Gemara is saying you're allowed to take it. Who is this a proof for? Rava. Because Rava says it doesn't matter if people didn't give up hope. What matters is that if they get there and they see that it's gone, they'll give up hope. So Rava only cares about what will happen, and it's as if it's happening right now. So Rava seems to be right from this leket proof, because there are aniyim other places, but we don't care. Because we can assume that once they get here, they're already so late that the Moshe went through that they're going to give up hope anyway once they get here. So it's as if they give up hope now, even if they're still running to the fields because they think the Moshe still didn't go through yet. They don't know because they're not there yet. So that's a proof of Rava, great proof. So we have to defend the Baye, and I'm running out of time here, but we have to defend the Baye. Amri kevan de ika eniyem hacha. The answer says no. Since there are local poor people, those in the other places had already given up hope from the beginning of the harvest season. The Imri Aniyim Dehatam Laktile. Because they'll say, these people will say, these poor people in Florida, these poor people in New Jersey, that they're coming, they're going to say, Aniyim Dehatam Laktile, that the Aniyim already took it. They already got that stuff. No one's going to be running from New Jersey to New York to Scarsdale to get the leket. No one's going to be running to get the leket because they know the harvest season in Mamaroneck, it's good wheat, they have good stuff, and once leket starts, once the harvest season starts, they know that all the aniyim that are in that area are going to run first to Scarsdale to get it. So you can assume that the other aniyim already had given up hope because they knew that there are poor people that are going to that city. They knew there were going to be poor people, and why are they traveling now? Maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe there's still a stalk of a bundle of wheat that no one took. If you see that wheat, you're also allowed to take it. It's not just for the poor people. But the idea is that Abai still could be right because they had given up hope already. It's not that we assume they're going to give up hope even though they don't know. That's what we wanted to say. We're now saying no, even though they aren't there yet. They already had given up hope in their mind. They're trying to get lucky. They're hopefully going to get there, and they'll see that there's wheat on the floor, and they'll take it. And that is basically the Gemara until now. I want you to review that. I want you to listen to this video in its entirety because I'm telling you right now, in the last 30 seconds, I posted a Kahoot. It's under the assignment called Assignment, and you must attempt to fill it out. The winner of the Kahoot will get a prize, so please try your hardest. There is also going to be that you'll have to make sure you get to me the answers because I'm making sure everyone's doing it. So take care and good luck, and thanks for watching.